Hey everyone, I'm here with the February 2022 psychic prediction video. So when I tuned into February, what I got was the first color vibration was yellow, and it was representing the sense of intellectual alertness for the month, but there's this sense of logic, but it's not the type of logical response that people would say, be logical about something. It's kind of more logical than what people think of as logical, in the sense that there may be the scientific community or the consensus of the academics who are saying, oh, be logical about this. This is what everybody says. Everybody agrees with this. But being really logical is actually to recognize that those are assumptions. And so this is being more logical than the logical response, if that makes any sense. And that's the first thing that I got when I tuned into February. Now, regarding Joe Biden, that was the next thing that came up for me. I saw Joe Biden with a sense of regret, like he's just regretting something on some level, and he's trying to ignore a situation. I see him trying to distract people and to talk about the US economy rather than focusing on whatever it may be that he doesn't want people to focus on. I see him saying whatever and kind of walking away from the situation. So this could be about Russia and Ukraine, although I'm not 100% sure, but it's very likely. So when I tuned into Russia, I saw that Russia as a country was making Biden and to some degree the United States look small in comparison to Russia, at least energetically speaking. There's a sense of panic related to this, but the energy is very short-lived, and this panic energy peaks during the first week of February. And I think this is the energy that I was reading last month that I was seeing peaking around February. 1 second. All right. Back to where I was. So Russia pushing as far as they can get away with. So Russia is going to be, pushing their boundaries, trying to see what they can do. I also get the sense that they're on the verge of a major cataclysm, but not necessarily starting a war. I see them gaining land, but it's not a full-out war. I see this continued encirclement around Ukraine, and Russia continuing to do this. And so there's this strength and their slow, steady strategy that's more based on intimidation than it is outright aggression. Putin is eyeing Ukraine, making them weak in their knees, like a kickboxer that wears out his opponents before going for the knockout. I do see this losing steam later in the month, but not backing down. I don't see Russia, stopping what they're doing, but I see their progress slowing down. And eventually they're just maintaining a wall, so to speak. And I also saw an image of Russian troops yawning and kind of loosening up their advancement later in the month. And this could slowly continue to evolve to a new situation next month in March. Ukrainians appear to be living in fear and backing away from the borders, which is the main goal and the main strategy here for a slow take back of their land as Russia sees it. When I tune more into just society and other things, I see cars jammed up and people yelling at each other, society jammed up, is the way I interpreted this. And this is the exact same thing I said last month. And funny thing was, last month it was quite literal that there were a whole bunch of cars jammed up in traffic, and it was on the news how people were out in in snowy traffic for like over 24 hours, for like 48 hours, I think, at some points. So that there may be something like that, but I take this to be more symbolic in the sense that society or the economy can be jammed up. I also saw people yelling for things that they need, and there being this sense of struggle within the U.S. with people, trying to get what they need, economically speaking and materialistically speaking. This could potentially be a shortage or some sort of barrier in the way of the economy. I would say advice is it's best to make do with what you have, be flexible, and stay out of the chaos if you can. So this is particularly a good month for staying home, being Zen-like, Buddha-like in your actions, being in acceptance of where you truly are in life without the input from others. So really accepting where you are and being able to recognize where you are, but not depending on other people's input to tell you where you are, because that's not necessarily the truth. So there's a lot of finding your truth in this month. This month is also good for humbleness. It's a really good month for being humble. Good month for going within, using your intuition to find what you are looking for with a sense of patience. So it's important to be patient in this month as well. And it's also a good month for solitude to some degree, but with a focus so as not to fall into despair, because that can happen very easily in this month, which leads me to what is bad for this month. What's bad for this month is trying to get the best deal, because the energy is focused elsewhere in the world rather than the material. So, that's just not where the energy is focused this month. So probably not a great month to be trying to get a good deal on something. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, just the general energy. This month is bad for extreme dieting, like going on an extreme diet. It doesn't mean just any diet. That just means like really pushing yourself. A rigorous self-discipline is not a good month for that. I see this leading to mental health problems. That's a big one for this month. Being hard on oneself is not good. Perfectionism, trying to be perfect, definitely not a good thing to do this month. Not a good month to plan things financially. And it's also not a good month for a very similar reason, or you could say related reason, of being overly optimistic, because your dreams may be crushed in February. There's a lot of harsh realities. So I see some chaos for the first half of the month, and like this chaotic energy, and then things calm down to be a quiet second half of the month. It may get very, very cold in the second half of the month. but the first half of the month it may fluctuate a little more. And this funny, last month I was reading that, or I kept seeing the sun, and I was reading that it was like energetically, like the the golden light of the sun, the energy of that. But I think it was also quite literal as well, and I'm not saying everywhere, but at least for me in Portland, Oregon, it's been a very sunny winter month. Like, it's weird how much sunlight there was, like, for weeks on end, just sunny days. So, um, yeah. So I think it was symbolic, but I think it was also literal as well. So, February, be prepared for the long, dark, dreary solitude of the second half of the month. There can be a lot of depression to deal with. So the first half of the month is going to be like overexertion of people and kind of a little bit of aggressiveness coming out of people. But then the second half, it's kind of the opposite, and it's like this quiet withdrawal. And this can lead to depression and isolation problems. So you want to watch out for that. I was seeing some activity in India, and last month I was seeing activity in the Pacific Ocean, and I read it more, and what I was seeing was ships in the ocean, and I was thinking there might be some sort of tension with ships in the Pacific Ocean, but apparently that's not what it was. It was a volcano, and so I'm trying to be more cautious here because I was seeing activity in India, but I'm not 100% sure exactly what it is, although I'm kind of guessing here that it may be something related to COVID, or there may be some form of assistance being given to the people of India, is what I was getting. So the east coast of the U.S. may experience more cold weather for February. Overall, for the Earth, I see a break in the increase of the Earth's vibration that's been increasing over the past, I don't know, year or so. I'm seeing this time being another break period where it's not really increasing too much, and it's giving us time for the energy to settle into our bodies and for us to integrate this evolution of spirit. So we are coming to terms with things collectively this month that may not be ideal situations. Our idealistic perspectives may give way for a much less ideal perspective, more based in reality. So we're losing our idealism, and we're becoming more real, I guess you could say. So people may also be having a lot of trouble coping with this kind of crashing of their idealism and having to face the reality. So there could be some mental issues. Specifically, there may be issues associated with the heart chakra, but also a lot so with the second chakra, with emotions being unraveled, part of the healing process. There is some darkness to the month, but I don't mean darkness as in negative or bad. I mean darkness as in shadow work, working through your shadow. And this is mostly the second half of the month, and I got this sense of queasiness in my stomach. So some of you may actually feel queasy in the second half of the month. There may also be healing to sex trafficking involved here, so victims of that, there may be a good month for healing those wounds, and there may be something going on in the world to address that issue more. So there's also people being stuck in the energy of mistakes from the past, and having to, face those. That's also part of the shadow work. And, it seems negative, but it's actually a very healthy thing to do. And the one type of energy that can really help people through this is the energy of thankfulness and of being thankful in general. There may be discoveries made in February that are potentially scientific or non-scientific. I'm not sure, just the sense that there may be like deep discoveries, maybe inner discoveries coming up here. True wisdom will be embraced, and it will be separated from what is not true wisdom, but what has been thought to be true wisdom. And so there'll be kind of like a reality epiphany here. Idealism will be replaced by realism, in other words. Remember not to isolate yourself too much, and think of ways to raise your vibration and increase the positivity in yourself and with others to help get through these dark days, if you want to call it that. So I would take this month as an opportunity to learn to individualistically stand in positivity as an individual without needing something else to, bring you that light, like that inner sunlight that shines forth, and really finding that within yourself instead of seeking it externally or needing something else in order for you to have that for yourself. So this is a great month for helping yourself by helping others get through it. And there is strength in being real with yourself and others in this month in particular. So looking back at January, just to go over some stuff that I said in that prediction video. No, there were not ships in the Pacific Ocean as I thought, although there was a volcano in the Pacific Ocean, underneath the ocean, that caused some tidal waves. So in January there is 8,500 troops on high alert around Russia and Ukraine, but not in Ukraine. And so that seemed to correlate with what I was saying, that troops would position themselves in a non-aggressive manner, like the start of a chess game for January. And that's what's been going on. I also was saying that Biden would be taking orders from the military, not really be in control. And from what I've been hearing, the military has been making these decisions ultimately, and they've sent out aid, and they have troops on standby alert. I'll also post some videos, some news videos, if you want to watch news videos about what's going on as a reference. So I mentioned something about Africa, there being some viciousness, some chaos, and I said to take it easy and be a little cautious. It looks like, Africa's a big continent, but I don't remember which country, but there was a president that was ousted, and I think he was chased out of the country or something like that. But there's always stuff going on in Africa. But if you want to watch the video about that, I'll put the news clip below this video. And the whole thing about the the cars, I said the economy being jammed up, and there was all the cars, jammed up. I already mentioned. I was said that the southeast of the U.S. there would be transportation issues specifically, and that was definitely the case. Although it was more than just the southeast, it was definitely the east and the west. I don't know exactly where in the United States it all happened, but either way, if you know, you can comment and let me know. And yeah, that's all I have to say for today. Hopefully this video wasn't too long. Thanks for watching and have a great day.